I'm a clinical psychologist. I've spent my last nearly 20 years in curating stories. Psychotherapy for me is nothing but a rich and complex curation of stories. So I'm going to start with one. This story is of Lila. And to give you the context, I met her at the intake, and at the intake, we have their signature strength profile displayed, because before coming to intake, our clients complete a measure of strengths as well as a measure of psychological distress. They don't get feedback on the measure of distress, but they do get feedback on measure of strengths. So because we just want to start thinking about their strengths, because for so long we have been mired in the deficit model. So the profile of Lila was something like this. This is not her profile. This is a sample profile for confidentiality reasons. Her top strength was gratitude. And I looked at her because I had also I peeked at her diagnostic profile, and I said, help me, Lila. Where is this gratitude? What are you grateful for? And the story goes like this. Lila is a child of an immigrant family. Mom comes from an East European background, and she wanted her to become a ballerina. Father comes from an Asian background, wanted her to become a mathematician. And she complied with their desires until she couldn't cope with the pressure of expectations. And she coped with what? With drugs in high school. To support her habit of drug addiction, she very soon started stealing. Police got involved, and family became so embarrassed, they just abandoned her. And one day, Lila woke up in this dingy little room and looked around her. She couldn't even recognize the people. They were passed out around her, and how she got there. She looked out at the window, and the story, for the context, is in Ontario, Canada, where I was at University of Toronto for a dozen plus years before I recently joined University of Melbourne. It was dead of winter, but the sky was blue, and the sun was shining. She burst into tears, and she said, if I kept on going like this, I'm never going to see another blue sky. She looked at me, and she said, Dr. Rashid, why I shouldn't be grateful? Because the moment I realized that I cannot go on like this, I checked out from that room, knocked on a relative's door, and was kind enough to connect her with a rehab. And within a year, I completed my high school, and I entered university on a scholarship. Tell me why I shouldn't be grateful. The story was so powerful that I felt that was the moment when the therapist's existence in the room become minimal, and the story takes over. A couple of sessions later, we started the practice of gratitude, and I gently nudged her. What would you like to call your gratitude journal? Guess what she called it? Blue sky. But unfortunately, folks, the state of psychotherapy is not that rosy, not that blue sky. Look at some of the statistics. 65% of clients in routine care leave treatment without a measured benefit. 30 to 60% do not show any substantial treatment benefits. 20 to 30% drop out of treatment. 10 to 5% get even worse while they are in treatment. Maybe the treatment will be best, but many other things might be happening. There's a RCT, a meta-analysis of lots of RCTs, and they find limited effect sizes and effectiveness has reached a ceiling, kind of a plateau. And guess what? As a psychotherapist, we have been trained, we have been enshrined to adopt a school of thought. You might have heard cognitive behavior therapy, psychodynamic therapy. Last bullet, specific treatments doesn't matter. So this is not exactly the blue sky of psychotherapy. So what I've been trying to do for last nearly 20 years is to see why psychotherapy has reached a plateau. In my mind, there are two reasons. One is we do not take the perspective of client seriously. Because research shows when we ask therapists what happened in psychotherapy, they say a couple of treatment models. When we ask clients, they say, well, specific problem solving. The second part, which is more important, is that we do not give enough attention and effort to strengths. For us, the strengths are peripheral. They're clinical peripheries that doesn't need attention. For some reason, gratitude is less authentic than grudges. Conflict is much more important than cooperation. Hubris, we see the narcissistic personality issues. Hubris is far more powerful and stands out than humility. I have made an argument when I was studying with Marty Seligman at University of Pennsylvania that strengths are equal an active ingredient of healing. It took me about 15 years, more than 200 case studies that I put together in positive psychotherapy manual and workbook. These are 14 positive psychology interventions. You have step-by-step treatment regimen, how to do it, what are the learning concerns, what are the cultural concerns, and lots of case studies and vignettes. We did the same in UK with my colleagues with psychosis, and now we have adapted the same manual, Strength-Based Resilience, which will be published this year. And positive psychotherapy you can find in 6 different languages that translation has been published. And a couple of papers that have been also published on this. The bottom one is my study where we compared a strength-based approach with a deficit-based approach, PPT versus dialectical behavior therapy with borderline clients, and we saw decent effects. So my next part of the talk is I'm going to share some of the ideas that how can we increase the plateau that I just mentioned to improve the effectiveness regimen of psychotherapy. The first, I want to give you this took many years. It was started in 2013, and we recently published the data. This is close to 2,700 clients. Mostly females, more than 80% of non-whites, young adults in a university-based clinic. And what we did, this includes Lila's profile as well, because what we did is we tested this hypothesis that holding the symptoms constant, irrespective of how distressed our clients were, do the strengths predict treatment outcome or recovery? Sure enough, look at the results. 11 strengths, we use Ria's model, 24 strengths. 11 of the 24 reached medium effect size, and those you see in the red font are the ones have highest correlation with life satisfaction. Zest demonstrated the strongest relationship. Open-mindedness, persistence, Zest predicted lower symptoms at the final session, and the next paper that we are publishing, we've also found hope was actually a buffer against suicidal ideation. And hope, those who came with hope, a little bit higher level of hope, they had accelerated recovery, so they needed less number of sessions. So this is the first, to my knowledge, this is the first evidence, empirical evidence published in a peer-reviewed journal where we have proven that strength-based approach can be helpful in treating serious mental health issues. let's take, but I don't want to stand here and say positive psychology and strength-based approach is be and all. Some of you might have heard about about cognitive behavior therapy and these cognitive distortions. So I think what we need to do is to combine our approaches. Serious mental health issue needs serious solutions. And I'm never shy of referring my clients if they have panic disorder, if CBT can be helpful. But I think we have not experimented by integrating treatment. So here's one example. Most of us commit these thinking errors. We jump to conclusions. And when I see my clients jump to conclusion, I ask, is there some way mindfulness or open-mindedness can help them? When I sniff some tunnel vision in their distorted thinking, which is related to mental health issues, could perspective be marshaled in solving the problems? And you can see other issues as well. This is one illustration of learnings that I've learned both from the traditional side and from the strength-based approach. The next set of slides, I'm going to share some of my learnings. Each one is a vignette. Each one is a case study. So oftentimes when we discuss with my clients how to inculcate gratitude, they say, I don't know how to start the conversation. So these are the conversations that happen between my clients and myself. And so for the sake, think about it. So when I say these things, so put yourself in those shoes. And when you want to express gratitude, can you start with conversation? It was so thoughtful of you. And hopefully you can complete the sentence. And I remember this was completed by a young male who had moved back during COVID with their parents. And it was very difficult after honeymoon period. It was the relationship with parents and him was not, not very. It was testy, and we started saying, what are the things that you are grateful about your parents? And he said, there are many things, but sometimes we lack the language. So second one, if you want, and this is another young female saying that saying to their parents, I want to know how much I appreciate your contribution, because they realized how much sacrifice the parents have given. This is by a partner to their spouse. I don't know how would I manage without your help. So sometimes small little things, small little nudges are helpful in helping to cultivate the practice of gratitude. Empathy. Some of my adult clients want to empathize with their loved ones, but they just don't know. So some of the scripts that we learned, and so I'm going to share one with you. So put yourself in the shoes of this adult client who wants to understand their children. And I asked them, and this is after lots of conversation, am I saying or doing things in a way that would make my loved one really hear me out? So apply this on yourself. Are you saying or doing things that your loved ones would really hear you out? If you were in their shoes, would I like to speak to them in this way? So this is a parent who wanted again, a fractured relationship with the children. And I said, if you were in the shoes of your children, would you like to speak to them? So sometimes empathy starts with the person who wants to do it, but they just need some skills. And again, this is tapping onto their strengths. Forgiveness. Karen talked about forgiveness this morning. My clients want to forgive. Caveat, this is my therapy, the protocol is not on forgiveness because it's a big topic, but this is with a small f kind of forgiveness. And some of the conversations that we developed with my clients is, how about I don't blame you for being upset? Because when you say this, you're making a bridge of validation. You're validating the other person. I acknowledge and accept my part. Anyone in this room who has never been forgiven? You all have been forgiven. But how often we acknowledge our part? I would like to, and this was a long-term therapy client, and it's a fractured relationship with a family member, and then repeated forgiveness, the cycle, goes on. So finally, we developed the script. I would like to take specific steps so that this doesn't happen again. Can you please outline those steps? I now realize how you must have felt. Okay. I moved forward. I would also like you to invite you to think about happiness as not just cultivation of positive emotions, but also these states which my clients have reported, accepting of problematic aspects of self. Is anyone who doesn't have any problematic aspect of themselves and we haven't accepted them? How about accepting others the way they are? Can you change others? Sure. So maybe acceptance might be a good strategy. Liberating oneself from worries and anxieties of the past. How many of us are still hooked up to those anxieties and worries and things that didn't go well, and we're still stuck, those frigid, frozen moments? Letting go of unrealistic goals and dreams. How many of us are still holding on to those? And being able to forgive oneself and others. Okay. In the remaining time, I would like to do an exercise with you, and for that one, this next one, for that one, I would like you to, if you could get to this website, menti.com, and enter the code 1926971, or you can scan this barcode. It'll take a couple of minutes, and I will make sure I can. So it's anonymous, and it's a real time, but please do not enter any data because I'm going to walk you through an exercise. Okay? So please do not enter any data, please, because I'm seeing some people are entering. Okay. So take a deep breath. If whatever you have in your hands, you can put them down for just a minute. Bring your back towards the back of the chair. If you can place your feet flat on floor, hands close to your kneecaps, take a deep breath, and gently let your eyes close. Remember, last time, you laughed uproariously. You laughed so much. You fell from chair, sofa, wherever you were sitting. Bring that memory in front of your mental screen. I see some laughs as well. You laughed so much that you fell from chair. Or something close to that. All right? Keep that image intact, folks. Don't let it go. Last time you felt indescribable joy. You were so happy that you couldn't put it into words. Even there was a fleeting moment. So laughing uproariously, indescribable joy. You sense profound sense of meaning and purpose. When was the last time you felt that this is what my life is? This is why I'm supposed to be here. So you have laughing, indescribable joy. You sensed meaning and purpose, or something close to that. 3 moments, 3 memories, 3 occasions, and keep those 3 images intact. You've last one. You felt enormously proud of an accomplishment. You worked so hard for this. And when you got it, was a license, was a degree, was a project, you were so proud of yourself. Take a deep breath. This is laughing. Keep your eyes closed. Indescribable joy. Sense profound meaning and sense and purpose, and felt enormously proud of an accomplishment. Gently open your eyes and look at the mentee and enter. This is the question. How many of these states you experience completely alone? Listen carefully. No one was remotely near you. Solitary. You laughed by yourself. You have indescribable joy. You sense meaning and purpose. You accomplished all of these states only by yourself. So let's see. I can't project on the screen. We have 120. Okay, this is increasing. I don't know where Karen is. I told her that I will tell her that about, this is increasing. 250 votes so far. 56% of you have none of these states alone. 22%, one of them, and the rest is very small chunks. We'll send you this slide. Folks, without knowing the details of your high moments, I know one thing for sure, and that is what my clients have told me. Your happiness is deeply, deeply connected with your loved ones. So let me end a compilation of what is happiness. I've often asked my clients, and these are every step, every act is a story. I just compiled them. Happiness, my clients have told me, is not just a big jolt of joy from thrill rides of amusement parks or getting latest gadgets and games. It is unpacked in small doses of laughter with your siblings. I remember this client. Wandering in nature alone or with your pets. It is being a chatterbox with your buddies. I remember this female client. Snuggling with your loved ones on Sunday mornings. I hope some of you did this morning. Listening to your friends without advising them. How profound, what a profound thought. It is paying for coffee for a person standing behind you in line. That movement actually started from Italy. Cafe Spesso, something. It's a client wrote about that. It is consuming one less single-use plastic bag. It is watching the small plants someone else planted. It is standing up for someone treated unfairly, even when you don't know them personally. Folks, this is stories of my clients. What's the take-home lesson? Happiness is both journey and a process. It's the destination and the process to get to this destination. But you got to be the author of it, much like my clients are the author of their own happiness. Thank you so much. Thank you.